receiver. Buffalo has agreed to trade for DJ Moore in exchange for 2026 second and fifth round draft picks. Once the new league year begins, that will be on Wednesday. Moore turns 29 next month. He will be reunited with new Bills head coach Joe Brady, whom he previously played under in Carolina. Obviously, you see Joe Fortenbow is now with us, as is Mike Tannenbaum, as we talk a little bit of football here. Who won the trade? Let's all remember who we're talking to here.
Yeah.
Was it Buffalo or was it Chicago, Mike T?
Well, I hate to disagree. I've been here for 2 seconds, but I'm going to go with Buffalo. Look,
right in your face.
Yeah. Look, DJ Moore is a good player. Is he perfect? No. He had a little bit of a kind of a step back last year in terms of production. 50 catches, 682 yards. Run after catch isn't what it once was. But when you're building a team, you have to make incremental progress. If I'm the Bills, the verb I'm scouring. I'm going to keep looking. Maybe I draft one. Maybe I sign Mike Evans. Who knows? But they are a better team today, unquestionably. And at roughly $21 million, its value compared to what the top of the market is. So is it ideal? No, but team building is never ideal. I think they got better.
Would you like to take him down, or would you like me to have
No, you go for it.
Bears in a landslide. The thing that worries me with Buffalo is DJ Moore's a good player. He addresses a concern, no doubt. You're now paying your wide receiver group $4 million less than Cincinnati's paying their wide receiver group. They get Chase and Higgins out of that. You have DJ Moore, who good, and then what else after that? That's a bit of a concern. On the Bears side, be proactive, not reactive. They've known a day like this could be coming. The Luther Burden draft pick gave them the flexibility to go out there and look at Moore and say more liability than asset. We can cut that money. We can pick up a second-round pick in return. The return on this is a haul for the Bears, which now opens up some freedom to go up and address the rest of the roster.
Yeah, it's the Chicago Bears with the caveat of let's wait and see what they do with all of the draft capital and cap space that they've freed up, right? They've got $32 million in cap space, and they have 4 picks in the first 2 days of the NFL draft. Now, do they use all of that draft capital on kids coming out of college? Do they package together those picks to try to reallocate resources toward the defensive side of the ball? We'll have to take a wait-and-see approach. But make no mistake about it, when it comes to this trade, the Buffalo Bills paid a premium for DJ Moore. And they wanted to get a proven commodity, somebody that they know can be a number one receiver in this league, rather than projections, right? They're done with using second-round picks on wide receivers in hopes that Josh Allen could develop them. See Keon Coleman. Yeah. They went out and got a guy in DJ Moore that has 5 seasons with 1,000 yards from scrimmage or more, with 5 different quarterbacks, right? 3 in Carolina with Teddy Bridgewater and Kyle Allen and Sam Darnold, and twice in Chicago with Justin Fields, once and Caleb Williams. So you know DJ Moore works. Since 2020, he's 3rd in receptions of 40 air yards or more. So he is a deep play threat. But the thing that I'm most interested in when it becomes this particular trade is them. The reason why I think that's so important when evaluating this trade is because for so long, the Buffalo Bills have been asking Josh Allen to be Superman. And it feels like with this move, they're asking Josh Allen to be Clark Kent. He needs a little more of that in his game to avoid the turnover-worthy plays like we saw in the divisional round against the Denver Broncos. And DJ Moore's presence is going to open the door for Josh Allen to have more moments where he's not putting the game in harm's way by taking unnecessary risks.
And the other part of what you said, it's a little bit of a nuance when you talked about the Bears. It also applies to the Bills, Chris, from this standpoint. When you're running a team, you want to go into the draft with as many boxes checked as possible to give yourself flexibility. So if we were sitting here last week, the 4 of us, we'd say, like, oh, at 26, they got to draft a receiver. Well, now they could draft a receiver. They don't have to. So be it defensive end, another corner, they have 2 interior offensive linemen that are free agents. It gives them a little bit more flexibility. So, again, is DJ Moore a bona fide number 1? Probably not anymore, but they got incrementally better. And let's see what they do at 26, because that has to be part of this evaluation.
So you guys probably know this better than me, but from what I understand with Buffalo, they like to run 2 tight end sets, right? More so than they like to spread you out with a bunch of wide receivers. So now you get a guy like DJ Moore, in addition to the tight ends you already have, those big bodies, right? Do you need more than that? Is this an upgrade at the wide receiver position for them? Do they need another number 2, like to Joe's point?
Absolutely. You got to keep scouring, because, Shay, for them to get to where they want to go, which is the Super Bowl, you got to score a lot of points in the AFC. And Khalil Shakir is a good player. Dalton Kincaid is a good player, but they need another weapon on the outside. So that could be Mike Evans, maybe on a value on a 1-year deal. You wait and see on him. Maybe you draft a bona fide number 1 at 26 if it falls into your lap. So absolutely, they got to keep going. Maybe Keon Coleman develops late. You know, we always talk about quarterbacks. Their development is never in a straight line, so you don't close the door on him. But you absolutely have to keep going, because even though you do play 12 personnel, you need the flexibility to put another big body out there.
I see this one a little bit differently than Mike T. I think we've got to get out of this mode of expecting Josh Allen to score a touchdown on every single possession. That's what the Buffalo Bills have to get away from. Like, I think they have enough now with DJ Moore on the offensive side of the ball. You got the league's leading rusher in James Cook, right? You've got two tight ends you feel pretty good about. You've got DJ Moore, a former number one draft pick for the Carolina Panthers at wide receiver. They have enough firepower on offense. They got to find ways to stop people. And when you look at their front seven and some of the guys on their defensive front that are graduating, how are they going to put pressure on opposing quarterbacks? They started last year with their draft in addressing the defensive side of the ball. They put a ton of draft picks on the defensive side of the ball. We'll see how those guys develop. But they need to add more pressure players on defense. They need to add more guys that can be force multipliers. You look at that defense, there is nobody that you point to and you say that guy can be a game wrecker. So I'm with you, Mike T. There's more work to be done for Brandon Beane and the Buffalo Bills. I just think that work needs to focus on the defensive side of the ball.
To your point, they were like 20th in sacks last year. They can't get after the pass rusher, so you'd hope the secondary can cover up for that deficiency. They got problems in the secondary, too. So on all three levels, and Milano's not getting any younger, and he doesn't stay healthy. So on all three levels, you've got issues to address, which is why on offense, if you're going to make a move, shove the chips for A.J. Brown. Like, that's what I don't understand. DJ Moore is nice. Brown's going to be the guy that opens up the rest of the field for all these younger wide receivers to get the more favorable matchup.
But that's a simple answer. That's a simple answer. The A.J. Brown of it all, when you're talking about somebody that has been as outspoken as A.J. has been, somebody that is as mercurial, as temperamental, do you want to reintroduce that element to this Buffalo Bills organization, to this team, knowing how things ended with Josh Allen and Steph Diggs a couple of years ago? There's no way you're going to go down that road. I would feel differently if the Buffalo Bills had strong leadership in place, whether it be a coach or whether it be a player. They have neither. And so I don't trust that the Buffalo Bills can absorb a personality like A.J. Brown.
But are the Brown-Diggs issues the same? Aren't they different types of issues? Brown wasn't getting the ball. You know Allen's going to force-feed him the ball. He'll have 110 receptions
But there's another aspect. It's all about contextual decision-making. And what I mean by that, DJ Moore for a second-round pick at $23 million is going to be different than A.J. Brown for a one plus something else. Again, we talked about other needs that they're going to have. So I like the efficiency of the move, meaning they got a good player, not a great player, but they still have some dry powder here, which they need.
And then can go out and address the defense, to your point. I don't like how this swung. I thought we were starting a line.
Yeah, now I talked you into my side.
And I got caught in the middle of this whole thing. This is where the host has to come in and just blow this whole thing up.
We embrace debate on this show, okay? That's what we do here. Let's go to the Chicago side of it now.
What took us so long, Shay?
Well, I know. Tell me about it. I'm surprised they even said rap in my ear yet. What should be the next move now for the Chicago Bears? Obviously, they get a 2 and a 5 for the DJ Moore side of it. Go ahead, Mike T.
Yeah, so Shay, first of all, they deserve a ton of credit. I really believe in win for today and develop for tomorrow. Luther Burden, to me, was the key to this trade because you let DJ Moore graduate, you shed his $23 million in guarantee, you get a second-round pick. That's really good work by Ryan Poles, being very strategic. Now, unfortunately, Drew Dahlman, at 27 years old, retires. So Tyler Linderbaum, by all accounts, is going to get a massive deal next week, the Baltimore Ravens center. Maybe too expensive. Then I shift quickly to a pass rusher. So is Trey Hendrickson in that? To me, has to be in that conversation. And then you kick the tires to see, like, is Max Crosby actually going to get traded from Vegas? Would Myles Garrett ever be traded from Cleveland? But to me, if they can get one of those three pass rushers, they are a much better team than they are today.
I mean, yeah, you go either direction, you're going to be better. I think O-line, O-line, O-line.
Yes.
Ben Johnson has come in. He's an offensive-minded guy. He showed you your quarterback can be the guy. He showed you your offense can be good enough to compete at the highest possible level. But now you have the surprise retirement. You got a couple issues on the O-line. Keep Caleb Williams upright. Keep him in a position where he can continue to progress. And on top of that, Ben Johnson loves to run the football. You've got to be able to move that ball on the ground to set up everything you want to do in the play-action passing game as well. Defense needs to be addressed. They had I don't want to say too many, but they forced so many turnovers last year. They're not going to be able to lean on that again. So the defense is going to have some issues, but offensively, you can't let that O-line slip and then put Caleb Williams in a situation where he could regress coming off such a big year.
The other thing is the defense was so reliant on sending the blitz to manufacture pressure. They were bottom 5 in explosive plays allowed last year. Something about that has to change. You either got to add pass rushers up front, or you got to add more help on the back end, or you got to do a combination of the two. But they've got free agents in that regard in the back 7. They've got some work to do on that side of the ball. So I'm not sure how Ryan Poles navigates the offseason. I would prioritize protecting Caleb first and foremost and trying to go add a center and interior offensive lineman. But after that, they need to address several areas on their defense in order for this team to take that next step.
There's also a massive sense of urgency. After this season, Caleb Williams will be extension eligible. We know the best value in pro sports is a great young quarterback on a rookie deal. So that changes everything. Look, I'm not saying that's going to get done, a year from today, but certainly if we're running the Bears, we got to be thinking about 60, whatever that number is, $65 million a year is not too far away.
Yeah, get a center and then go get Max Crosby. Hello, that's why you're clearing cap space. Let's go do it. Whatever it takes to get it done.
Problem solved.
Problem solved. And then we win the North. Does the return of Jason Tatum make the Celtics the team